Yar, controversial question time. What if I told you that China basically invented the modern world, and then forgot about it? I know, sounds crazy, right? But after researching this topic, I'm genuinely shook. We're talking about inventions from 5,000 years ago that are still running our daily lives today. And here's the kicker: many of these game-changing discoveries happened centuries before the West even knew they existed. So grab your chai, settle in, because what you're about to discover will completely change how you see world history. Trust me on this one. Okay, so picture this: it's 105 AD, and while the rest of the world is still carving messages on stone tablets and writing on expensive animal skins, China drops the ultimate game changer: paper. But Yar, this isn't just about convenience. This invention literally transformed how empires were run. Think about it: before paper, only the super wealthy could afford to document things. But suddenly, China had cheap, mass-producible writing material. What happened next? Government records exploded. Legal systems became more sophisticated. Religious texts could be copied and spread easily. And here's where it gets political. This gave China a massive administrative advantage over every other civilization. While European kingdoms were still struggling with basic record-keeping, Chinese bureaucrats were managing complex taxation systems, detailed census data, and sophisticated legal codes. No wonder they stayed unified for thousands of years while Europe kept fragmenting into tiny kingdoms. But wait until you hear about the invention that literally changed how wars were fought. Let's talk about gunpowder, invented in China during the Tang Dynasty, around 850 AD. Now, the irony is killing me here. Chinese alchemists were actually trying to create immortality elixirs when they accidentally created the most deadly substance known to mankind. But here's the fascinating part for us South Asian and Gulf folks: this invention didn't just change warfare, it changed the entire global power structure. When gunpowder technology eventually reached the Islamic world and then Europe, it completely revolutionized military tactics. The Mughal Empire's success in India? Ottoman expansion in the Middle East? All heavily dependent on gunpowder weapons that originated in China centuries earlier. And get this statistic: by 1000 AD, China was already using flamethrowers, grenades, and primitive cannons. Europe didn't figure out gunpowder until the 13th century. That's a 400-year head start. Imagine if they had kept that advantage and never shared the technology. But the most mind-blowing invention is still coming, one that connects every person watching this video right now. Okay, prepare to have your mind completely blown. The magnetic compass, invented in China during the Han Dynasty, around 200 BC. That's over 2,200 years ago, Yar. But here's why this matters so much to our community specifically. Think about all the trade routes that connected our regions: the Silk Road, maritime spice routes, the connections between Gulf ports and Indian subcontinent. Chinese navigational technology made all of this possible. Without the compass, the age of exploration wouldn't have happened. Columbus wouldn't have reached the Americas. The spice trade that enriched Gulf merchants and Indian ports would never have developed the way it did. Every single maritime route that connected our world, from the Arabian Sea to the South China Sea, depended on this one Chinese invention. That's the kind of dominance we're talking about here. And here's the thing that really gets me: China invented these world-changing technologies, and then gradually lost dominance to the West. Not because they stopped innovating, but because they became isolated. They had everything figured out centuries before anyone else, yet somehow the narrative today paints the West as the birthplace of modern civilization. The real history? Far more complicated and way more interesting. For us in South Asia and the Gulf, understanding this history is crucial. These inventions shaped the trade routes our ancestors used, the empires our great-grandparents lived under, and the global power structures we still navigate today. When you understand that China literally invented the systems the world runs on, you start seeing current geopolitics in a completely different light. This isn't just ancient history, it's the foundation of everything happening right now. So there you have it, 5,000 years of Chinese innovation that literally changed everything. Paper gave them administrative power. Gunpowder changed warfare forever. The compass connected our world. 3 inventions. Thousands of years of impact. What did you learn today that surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know what blows your mind about this history. And if you want more deep dives into the history that actually shaped our regions, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.